This is going to be the spoiler review, the Fantastic Four First Steps. Yesterday I did my non-spoiler review, so feel free to check that out on the channel, but if you have seen the movie or you don't care about spoilers, this is the place to be because it's going to be a spoiler review. So right now I'm going to give you a spoiler warning. There's going to be spoilers for the post-credit scene, the ending of the movie, and the movie in general, so click off now if you don't want any spoilers for this movie. Now we got through that, let's just talk about the movie with some spoilers. So one of the things I want to start off by saying is this movie looked incredible. Okay, the effects in this movie were so good and so much higher than anything I've seen Marvel really do in the past few years. They really put some effort into this. Some of the scenes that stood out for me was when we first meet Galactus on his ship, and like you see how small the Fantastic Four are, like standing on a little platform, and Galactus is like here, and he's like so much bigger. His eyes like illuminate, and you finally hear that voice, and the visuals in that scene, it makes it look so real and so good. It's so comic-y. Like it really goes deep into the sci-fi feel of a movie, which I really like, that Marvel haven't done recently. Galactus' design was incredible. I mean, he looked so good. He was like a big working machine almost. His suit was. I thought the Silver Surfer's effects were incredible as well. But there was plenty of scenes. There was also the black hole scene where the Fantastic Four escape from Galactus's ship after trying to negotiate. He rejects that because he wants Franklin. They escape just, and then they have to get rid of the Silver Surfer who's tailing them through space, that's a fantastic sequence itself. But then the Fantastic Four have to sort of pull her away. So their last resort is going straight into the heart of a black hole, trying to lure the Silver Surfer in there. So just as they're going towards the black hole and begins sucking him in, Sue, while giving birth as well, lays her hands on the ship, and the ship goes invisible in their like hyperspace rink almost. And she thinks Silver Surfer still thinks they're in there, and she gets sucked into the black hole. They get away, and that whole scene, it reminded me of Interstellar. The visuals in Interstellar, it was so well done. So let's move on to the plot now. So the movie opens up in the first 10 to 15 minutes of sort of explaining what's happened recently, you know, what they've been up to, how they got their powers. We all know the story. And sort of giving us a few like highlight reels of each Fantastic Four member, what they're doing, their powers, and they all look great. They're all doing their thing. They faced off against some gorillas, Mole Man, who I thought was a pretty cool character, and by quite a famous actor as well, which is cool. So let's talk about the actual like the main purpose of the movie. So after they're established, the Fantastic Four, what they're doing, everyone looks up to them. They're the only heroes of the world as well. So there's no one else in there despite leaks and rumours. They're just the only ones of that world. So essentially, the Silver Surfer flies down out of absolutely nowhere. They're fine. They get on with their lives. You know, they're fine. And she essentially says, "Your world is going to get eaten by the Devourer. Be ready. Stay close to your loved ones. It's going to happen. Suck it up." Essentially, so they're like, "What the hell just happened here?" So they then essentially pretty much straight away within the next 10 minutes are on Galactus' ship because they want to go and negotiate. So Reed, being Reed, tracked where she was using I think like matching her energy with another planet's energy or something like that. So it was quite clever. So they get to Galactus' ship and they try and bargain. And you sort of get a bit more about the Silver Surfer. Like she's almost trying to give them hints as to save themselves almost, it seemed. And Johnny was working on that for most of the movie. So Galactus obviously says, "We want your son," because he possesses cosmic power, which is like, I mean, obviously we know that means, obviously Franklin can create universes himself. He has got a ridiculous level of power when he grows up, so obviously that's a given. But they escape Galactus' ship once they realise they can't, and then Galactus almost makes Sue have birth. He like accelerates the birth, so that's like crazy scene. They get away, the black hole scene I told you about happens, and they get back to Earth, and it's a fantastic scene where the reporters are asking Reed, you know, obviously you defeated Galactus, so what's the next step? And obviously, because Reed is the smartest guy on the planet, so he's got an answer for everything. This was the first time he was speechless. It was a pretty impactful scene. And he didn't know what to say. He was, and you know, by the end of the interview, they sort of said to him, "Are we safe?" He was like, "I don't know." We've seen the clip, but it's a really impactful scene in the cinema. So eventually, they devise a plan to lure Galactus himself to Earth, to get on Earth and get Franklin for himself. And then they plan to use these generators that transport one thing to another place. They were going to use it for Earth, but then Silver Surfer destroyed it all. So Galactus had to come down to Earth himself and get Franklin. So we see, honestly, one of the most incredible scenes in the MCU, full stop, where Galactus jumps out of a ship and you just see him in New York. The scale, the impactful energy, like everything about Galactus was immense. He was just walking through a city, knocking over buildings, like speaking that voice, the white eyes, and he can just scan. Like he's got like a scan in his eyes, and he scans where Franklin is, and he can literally immediately see where Franklin is. So he goes straight there, knocking everything through his path. We get an immense Fantastic Four final battle with Galactus. He's trying to get Franklin, and then gets to the end of the battle, and Sue like releases this ridiculous level of power because he's got Franklin now. He did get him. And she pushes him into the, not black hole, but like the transportation device. And the Silver Surfer, to make sure he's gone, she sacrifices herself and pushes him through as well. And Reed saves Franklin. So, you know, happy days. It's a good plot. And it's a really well done scene in the third act. It was my favourite part of the movie. So, yeah, for the plot itself, it was pretty solid. The acting was great. I thought the effects were the standout of the movie. Would I watch it again at the cinema? No. Would I watch it when it comes on Disney Plus with someone else who hasn't seen it yet? Yeah, sure. But I'm not in a rush to rewatch it like I am with Superman. So I want to talk about something that happens after the movie, the post-credit scene. Now, if you have stayed this long, I want to give another major heads up because this is a big spoiler. Spoiler warning again here. Big spoiler warning for the post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four First Steps, okay? So I'm going to give it a little 3, 2, 1. And then we'll talk. So, the post-credit scene. The second one, you don't need to worry about. After credits, it's a waste of time. It's a little animation. Let's not talk about that. We'll talk about the first one. So we pick up 4 years later, where Franklin is now speaking. He's 4 years of age. And Sue and him are just chilling on the sofa in the Baxter building and she's reading him a little story. But Franklin wants another book. So Sue goes into the kitchen area and asks Herbie to get her a book for Franklin. So she gets the book and she turns around and we hear like this almost, I don't want to get too speculative, but a TVA doorbell opening. And she's like, she gets her power ready in her hand. She walks and the camera pans and you get the green cape and then Doom is there holding Franklin with his mask off in one hand and talking to Franklin. That's all we see. We see like 3 seconds and it cuts. The Fantastic Four return in Doomsday. Now seeing Doom for the first time, we saw his mask and it's comic accurate. The cape looks incredible. But what does he want with Franklin? We'll get into that in another video. That's all I'm going to say now for the spoiler review. So, yeah, overall, the movie was really fun. I think the story was solid. I'd give the story a 3.5 out of 5. I would give the action a 4 out of 5. I think we got a lot of that. I would give the effects a 5 out of 5. And overall, as you guys know, it's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good MCU entry. And I want to see them again. We will see them again in Doomsday. And I'm going to drop another video very soon, diving more into that post-credit scene and what it means for the future of the Fantastic Four. So stay tuned. This is a long video. If you're still watching, I appreciate you very much. Like, follow, and stay tuned for more content.